Hello, dear listeners, to the Deep Listen Stroke Off the Deep End podcast family of podcasts. This is Jeff Rude, the host of Off the Deep End and editor of said show here. A little note about this episode, the sound quality is not up to par. Had some microphone trouble just putting this one together. It was a tough choice. I'm going to roll with this one. I've purchased some new equipment. You hear the results of it right now in this recording. Going forward, hoping to sound a little better. You get what you pay for. Speaking of, check out patreon.com/deeplistens. So, yes, apologies for the quality of this episode. We look forward to providing you a better aural experience going forward. That's AURAL, not the other word that sounds like aural. Thank you. Hello, good people. Welcome to Off the Deep End, a Deep Listens podcast. This is a podcast where we explore role-playing video games in depth. My name is Jeff Rude, the host and high-res adventure #1 mystery house of this operation. Joining me, as always, in-depth exploration of role-playing games. We have the Ultima 2, The Revenge of the Enchantress of the show, Braden, Arbitrary Water. Hello, Braden.
Hello. Let's
Hi.
go to space.
Let's go to space. Let's be cops. Speaking of other fields of the human endeavor, joining us, the soft porn adventure of the show, Chris, Zombie Pirate Redacted. Hello, Chris.
Hey, Jeff, I know you last night itching no-joed in your pants. A real depressed orgasm, if we're being honest.
Yeah, just kind of slow. Took about 3
I-
minutes.
The box
Only-
art for Soft Porn Adventure is literally just Ken Williams sitting in his jacuzzi.
It's an amazing... Everyone just
It's-
turn this show off and go look up that art. There's... I feel like most of the pictures of the Sierra Online crew out in the woods from those days are basically in that genre. Just like people in their early 30s out in jacuzzis, like probably fucked up on blow.
As the saying goes from someone who I heard that worked there, we worked hard, but we also partied hard.
That Jimmy Maher page I recommended when we did the Ultima 4 show has a lot of, like, just the more sordid details of Sierra Online's history. They used to be a really important company. Yes, Sierra Online.
Now a Microsoft property.
Yes.
Are they a Microsoft property?
Yes,
Oh, wait,
yeah.
yes.
Activision.
Yep, they got
Yeah.
rolled up.
Yeah.
Who? Vivendi bought them, and then Activision bought Vivendi, I think is the...
No, they bought Vivendi's. So Vivendi's actually a huge multinational French corporation.
Right,
They just
I was like-
sold Activision their
Okay.
video game division. And then they realized, oh, fuck, these video games actually make money if we run the company well. And they tried to buy Ubisoft, of all things,
Right.
if you recall.
Okay. Yeah, and then that didn't happen because I think that would have been like roughly 10% of the French economy, which even in a company as, let's say, economically
Sordid.
nationalist as France, that was probably frowned upon. In any case, politics, don't you love them? Freedom fries all around. Sierra Online, they come up because they published a lot, especially in their early history, including Ultima 2, which is a whole fun story in itself. It's not the one we're telling today. Today we're going to be telling a different story entirely. An origin story. No relation to Origin. Today, on this episode, we will be discussing Quest for Glory 1, So You Want to Be a Hero. Aka Hero's Quest, So You Want to Be a Hero. We will get into it. This game, as mentioned, originally developed by Sierra Online and published by Sierra Online for IBM-compatible MS-DOS computers. It was originally released in October 1989 in the United States. Subsequently released for the Amiga, the Atari ST, the NEC PC 9801, aka the porn computer, and Mac OS. Some of those later versions also were VGA. They had that expanded video color palette, and it was out on CD-ROM there as well, so that's very exciting. It's a bad game. If you'd like to be a part of our pre-show discussion on these and good games, I'm just going to start burning shit down, as well as the rest of the fun community goings-on around the primary Deep Listen show, in addition to our little, turd of a production. You're welcome to swing by the Patreon at patreon.com/deeplistens. As you know, any dollar amount that you kick in will get you access to an ultra-secret Discord full of cool people and myself. You may also send questions to us via electronic mail, specifically the Off the Deep End's crew. We have our own inbox, and that is inquiries at deep.lol, deep.lol. That is inquiries at deep.lol. As we have mentioned, when we hit the $100 barrier, I will be doing karaoke performances. I believe the number that we've pitched has moved about 3 times, so let's set the record straight. If we double our subs, we're doing Unlimited Saga. I think we first said that about a month ago, and we have actually added some people, so I'd like to thank those of you who are joining us for the first time, for those of you who have done the footwork for us, gotten people looking at our show, interested in it. We got a lovely fan email in the last week or so from a nice couple. Messages like that sure make yelling into a microphone in an empty room feel a lot more rewarding. So a deep, sincere, heartfelt
thank you to those that have joined. But also, apparently, Gino and Jeff have found out that there are a lot of you that listen to this show on YouTube as well as the raw RSS feed. God bless you guys, still using RSS feeds. But hey, it sounds like this podcast gets anywhere between 100 to 150, sometimes on a good day, 200 to 300 people listening on the RSS feed. It's just $1 to join the Discord and be a part of this community. The appropriate links are very easy to find. And as Jeff said, you get to pick a game for us to play this year. 2022, our New Year's resolution is to play a lot of fan picks.
That is right. The fan stack is being built.
You sound like a PBS affiliate.
Tote bags.
You listen to us all the time.
You listen to Off the Deep
End.
End. But have you considered supporting it?
We've got a dollar for dollar challenge, and the dollar for dollar challenge is my own tears and blood.
If you enjoy PBS Mystery, if you enjoy Hercule Poirot,
if you're a fan of Putumayo and
the Red Green Show,
Stardate,
consider donating today.
You might be a communist if you can tell me your favorite wait, don't tell me panelist.
I used to listen to NPR when I used to work on base in Texas, and the way my day lined up, the last thing I heard in my car was always the little Stardate announcement. It was like at about, let's say, 3:54 every day. A lot of fondness for the little, here's what's going on in the sky.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if you've listened to it recently, but the original narrator for Stardate had to drop out, and they've replaced her because apparently she got, throat cancer, and might not ever have her voice again.
It's always hard. I think of Bobby Heenan every time I hear about that. Someone who's got such a good voice and so much to say, and that's what goes. It's kind of rough.
Yeah. Anyways,
much love. So before we dive into this, did we want to spend a brief talk on sumo, which I guess is
hell
our cruise?
Yeah, Jeff. Let's talk about sumo.
Okay.
Ahead,
I literally I'm not actually starting a timer.
Slapping each other.
But in my head, I'm starting a timer because we cannot just do a sumo
let's put
show.
3-4 minutes. How many minutes do you want to talk about sumo, Jeff?
Let's go 3. Okay.
Okay.
We gotta...
So everything's fucked.
Okay. Not everything's fucked.
The only Yokozuna that we have in the entire, Makakuchi division, his knees look fucked, and he went from being kind of the golden boy of sumo, the big. I say this only as a metaphorical reason, the Great White Hope, to we might be looking at a Kasano Sato trajectory for him moving forward.
I think he's just been scouted. I think Tamawashi, it's not like these things weren't known. His knees have been bad for years. Tamawashi was just hey, look, I'm a 37-year-old man fighting this guy in basically his late 20s. It turns out all they need to do is hit him from an oblique angle and keep his hands off my belt, and your odds go to 50-50. Like, yeah, it's like the K-Show thing. K-Show's kind of scouted too. It's just, if you can keep him in the ring for like longer than about 10 seconds, you've got about a 50-50 chance. Because like both of these guys are very good, but their bodies don't do what they used to anymore.
I will say though, but Tamawashi might be an all-time badass in the world of sumo.
Yeah, I mean, he like, imagine going like 15 years doing a thing where people just throw you onto a brick, and you don't get one sick day for like like as long as I've been alive. He's been letting people literally half his age just throw him onto a fucking pile of dirt.
Anyways, the other thing, and I think we asked the question to Jess on a podcast that is yet to be aired, Mitake Yumi 100% deserves to get the Ozeki nod.
Yeah.
I mean, he's at least more exciting than Shodai's Nozeki bullshit, which I'm glad that he completely fucking washed out this time.
Yeah.
I think he's, if you want a wrestler who can always get out of Kadoban, it's Shodai.
Jest though. Like exactly
8-7, 9-6.
Yeah.
8-7, 9-6.
The more I think about Shodai, the more I can appreciate the, like, I made it here. All I need to do is show up and not get fined, and the check gets written anyway. Like, I actually admire him from a millennial sumo, like, sort of perspective. Just like, you know, the paycheck is the same shape if I win or lose, more or less. Like, the salary stays the same.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, like...
It's not exactly stirring stuff.
Yeah, it's not exactly exciting stuff, and with apparently viewership going down, that's not exactly what you want in your second highest rank right now.
Yeah. So they want hyper-violence, like Abi and Hoshoryu headbutting a fucking rope this morning.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about that. Maybe we'll do it next time we record a podcast about the style of... I would like to go back to the 80s style of just let's start standing up. Abe's probably going to go up in rank. He's Magashira 6, so I don't know if he goes up to Sekewaki or any like thing super high.
I think he's.
Daisho's probably.
Yeah, like if you look at the two Kombosubi and how relatively poorly they've done this tournament, I think he's a walk to at least make bottom Sanyaku.
Did poorly, so he could. He's probably going to get out of Magashira, no problem. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, Takanosho did poorly as Sekewaki.
Yeah.
Mitake Yume's fine.
Then you've got
Meisei did poorly.
Yeah, Daisho, not great either. So,
and the Magashira number 1, Kirabayama, is 5-9 right now
for him.
Yeah,
so there's going to be a big mix-up
all over the place. And then you have people like Kaisei who completely dropped out and is probably going to get demoted to Jurio, and I don't know.
That's
he'll
basically
be able to
confirmed.
Crawl out.
Yeah.
So that means someone from Jurio is going to get the promotion.
Oh, several will.
Several will, because the entire, so Takanosho, who else pulled out earlier? The other Ozeki? Takakeisho. So we're looking at least...
Oh, you hear that?
So many
you hear that?
spots
You hear that? That's the sound of the sumo alarm going off. That's all the time we've got. Thanks for showing up to the Sumo Minute.
Probably go up, even though the last time he was in the top division, he got kicked out.
We're going to talk about Tecmo Sumo for the arcade. No, really, this can't become the Sumo Show. That's for Giant Bomb when we get bought. Okay. Shh.
Hey. Okay, fine. Braden, why don't you talk about that boring old man like Civil War shooter game, multiplayer game that you've been playing for nonstop for the last month?
Oh, tell me about my stream?
Yes.
Oh, I've been playing Hunt Showdown. That game's fucking rad.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm sorry that I like guns that shoot fast and I don't need to reload them after every shot.
Yeah, but let me tell you about old guns that shoot slow and take forever to reload.
So, is Hunt Showdown more of a, like, Evolve Left 4 Dead thing, or more of a King of the Kill like thing?
It is closer to a battle royale thing than it is a PvE thing. Right. It is kind of threading the needle between them, because you can do a match and not run into anyone, or you can have a match where you kill all 9 other players in the server instance.
So it's a small instance then?
Yeah, no, it's maximum 12 people.
That's vaguely appealing. The scale of that sounds nice and intimate.
Yeah, the most powerful weapon in the game is just the fucking Mosin Nagant.
All right. My grandfather has one of those.
Yes.
He got it in Vietnam. Editor's note. It is not a Mosin Nagant. It is an Arisaka bolt-action rifle.
But what if it was elite? What if it was heavily modified to be automatic?
Like a bump stock? Like what are we doing here?
Oh,
that game is weird in terms of like
weird,
we recognize we want to take this. We want to have zombies and horrible monsters in the Civil War era America, but also we understand people don't like actual Civil War guns.
Oh no, there are actual Civil War guns in there.
I'm just saying that there are guns that address people who are like, why does everything take so long?
It is a bunch of late 19th century firearms. And so, like, if you want a semi-automatic weapon, it's going to be weird and fucked, or, like, reload weird.
Do you have any, lever action, anything?
Yes.
Good times.
Yes.
Good times.
Plenty of Winchesters. The other most powerful weapon in the game, besides the Mosin Nagant, is literally just a fucking Mauser.
All right. I don't know how many people who listen to the show have had the chance to just, like, go into nature and just shoot guns. But I've got to tell you, as someone who broadly is not, like, a big gun nut, shooting guns is kind of fucking awesome.
Guns are a net negative on society. Guns are fucking cool.
They are. They are a lot of fun.
My cousin has an M14, and I fired it at a family reunion once, and it hurt my shoulder.
We have... We would dove hunt in Texas, and at some point we had a Charles Daly semi-automatic 12 gauge, and that feels just about like something I don't think you should be able to buy in this country or anywhere if you're not, like, you know, an active duty soldier or something.
Sure.
That's a fucking problem, but holy shit, just 6 12 gauge rounds, like pop, 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 like, yeah. Anyway,
so, yeah, that's what has been on my stream for the last month and a half ish. Also, I played through all of Dante's Inferno.
Oh right, you played the
Visceral Games Classic from 2010.
My wife managed to convince her mom as a teenager to let her buy Devil May Cry, solely because she was like, you know, it's like Dante's Inferno. You know, it's like it goes to hell and there's all. And she was like, oh, okay. I feel like Dante's Inferno, literal Dante's Inferno, would have probably been an even easier sell, despite the fact that it has a man with a flayed flesh cross sewn onto his chest, just on the cover.
Well, you know, here's the thing. It is a mediocre God of War ripoff. It fails to capture the level of spectacle or even mechanical that Sony's flagship series ever managed. But at the end of the game, you fight Satan, and he has a giant floppy dongus, and that made the whole thing worthwhile.
Yep.
I do like a nice floppy dongus in my video game. That's why Saints Row is so good.
Speaking of floppy dongus, what have you been playing for your streams, Chris?
Yeah.
Hey, so because someone on this podcast, who shall go unnamed, Jeff, has expressed, I would say, objectively incorrect opinions about the adventure game genre, I decided, you know what? I've been taken to task about my favorite genre of video games. I'm going to play something of questionable quality from 10 to 20 years ago. So I've been playing the video game adaptation of Douglas Adams's Starship Titanic.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah, that's right, everybody. Those listening, wondering, wait, did they make a video game adaptation of a Douglas Adams book? They sure did. Yeah, and it's not The Hitchhiker's Guide.
It's like getting shanked in an alley by a Monty Python sketch.
If you like the irreverent humor of Douglas Adams's works, I still wouldn't recommend it because the
British
game
yelling.
Design is bad. It's like I'm trying to solve a puzzle while actual John Cleese, is taunting me, calling me a dummy, and there's a loud parrot squawking, just completely irreverent dialogue, because that's Douglas Adams's whole shtick is irreverent, quirky dialogue that doesn't make sense to communicate the fact that he thinks that bureaucracy is evil. Like, that's the whole thing with Douglas Adams.
Yeah.
God bless him. He wrote some of the most seminal works of science fiction comedy ever, but he falls into that Anne McCaffrey category of you wrote 1 or 2 really good books, and then you wrote the same fucking book 8 or 9 million times.
Yeah.
And if you know, that's a literature joke.
Yeah. To be fair, it sounded like his editors, stroke publishers, were the ones kind of flogging him to write more after a certain point. They were just like, keep the money train moving, motherfucker. And he was like, I don't wanna. They were like, keep the fucking money train rolling. He was like, okay.
But anyways, no. The design of the game is awful. Like, even if I think that the game, when you examine it in the context of when it came out, where games were at that time, it's a beautiful, interesting game with good writing. It's just what I'm having to do to solve puzzles to move from point A to point B sucks shit. This is something that Braden saw. There is a bomb that you need to defuse, and the answer to the puzzle is don't be a smartass. But there's nothing in the environment to hint that that's the solution. You just have to listen to John Cleese insult you and notice that he's repeatedly saying, don't be a smartass. That's the hint. That's how you reach the conclusion that the password to the bomb is don't be a smartass. That's it.
This
That's
sounds
the only feedback you get.
A little bit like, not 100%, the like chimes and light crystals going off in Chrono Cross is how you get the good end. Like,
yes.
Not totally related, but like of a kindred spirit. Bad puzzle design, basically. Just bad design.
Yeah. But anyways, Braden's been watching me play that, and I think it's been the most important thing. It's been a positive addition to Braden's life. He's expressed nothing but joy when watching me play this bad video game.
I
it's
was
a good
having a
video
better
game.
time watching you play Atlantis.
No, that's bullshit.
No, because Atlantis isn't actively assaulting my ears every 3 seconds with, "Oi, I'm a British!" It's just that.
It really was like,
"Oh, I'm a British. I'm talking silly, nonsensical things very quickly. Did you know that it's a bit
There's
quite
a-
pleasant
Jeff,
surprise
there's a
for you, sir,
French-
listening to you talk about it into a microphone." It's just that.
There's a French waiter robot, and you have to get something from him, and you do it by clicking his butt.
oh, let me guess,
And
he's
repeatedly
rude,
you're
though.
listening to a British person do a French accent, like the Monty Python skit from Monty Python and the Holy Grail,
Wow.
while he said, "Do not kick my Achilles buttocks. No, it's very sensitive."
You
like
have
that,
to listen to him talk for 5 minutes.
Like,
to solve the
it's a
puzzle.
5-minute sequence.
I hate it.
hard tap.
I hate it so
Be
much.
5 minutes. So you have to keep clicking his butt, listening to 5 minutes of pure dialogue because that's the joke.
It's that's a Monty Python bit there too. It's such a dismal. I'm so glad. I don't know if this is true because I think about what nerd culture actually means now, and it's just like, did you see the new Marvel? But like 30 years ago, like the sum total of like shared nerd culture was basically like quoting Douglas Adams and watching Monty Python on your PBS affiliate, and then like going onto your local BBS and just being like, "Parrot dead, haha." That's good because the joke
Please
is
look forward to our review of Fallout 2 coming some point.
just a crystallized version of that.
If you like cringeworthy dated Monty Python references, Fallout 2.
I mean, I participated in that when I was like younger too.
Oh
So,
yeah, I mean,
to
how
show
many of
I watched
us
Monty
have
Python when I was
like
too young.
Yeah,
how many of us have walked down a street and did the silly walks?
I mean, who among us, you know?
Who among us has not done it at least once, right?
No, I understand Monty Python's importance as like this gonzo 1960s comedy thing.
And
by
one
a
could
bunch
argue
of
that like
Oxbridge weirdos. It's more that I don't know if I can deal with it anymore.
Yeah.
and one could argue, I think everyone can here argue, is like Terry Gilliam is an important person that has since gone on to direct some very important movies. And John Cleese is a very good actor, even outside of Monty Python.
Yeah.
I really like A Fish Called Wanda.
It's a great movie.
It's a fantastic movie.
Kevin Kline, A-list work.
I still think Michael Palin, secret best Python.
I'm going to throw out a not controversial opinion. I think Carol Cleveland comes off as maybe the best Python a lot of the time. Like,
that's fair.
She's great. Like, everything she does, like, in addition to being just, like, smoking hot in the 60s, and, like, everyone knew it, and she was just, like, having fun with it. She's also just really goddamn funny. Like, everything they gave her, she, like, pulled off very well. Underrated. You heard it here.
Let's get Jeff's bad opinions about this game out of the way.
Okay.
Just air your grievances.
I mean, we should probably start by saying Quest for Glory, also known as Hero
game.
Quest.
Yeah.
Do you want to be a hero?
Hero's Quest.
Before fucking what?
Who was it?
Jeff says a bunch of
Parker
bullshit.
Brothers,
Yeah.
Milton Bradley.
Decided
One of them
to
sued him.
blow them up. Okay, so I like role-playing games. And to borrow a format from a YouTube channel, I have played an adventure game before, but this is the first one I've played in a while, so I'm going to give this everything I've got. This is a game that has RPG mechanics in it, layered onto a lot of adventure game. Now, I don't know if you know this about me, but I've literally played a couple of these before. I think the most recent adventure games I've played to completion were the Shiva and Gabriel Knight 1, Sins of the Father, I think is the subtitle, with old Tim Curry and or Mark Hamill in it. I think both. I don't love them, but I get it. Like, this is an important mode of video game, and they were probably the lead profit PC video game slice for a very long time. So I see the wisdom in what was done here, which was basically take this existing format and marry it to RPG mechanics. I get it. Clearly a lot of care went into this product. We'll dig down into that deeper. But I guess bumper sticker version of what I'm saying is this game is not bad at all. It is not bad, actually bad, but I did not enjoy playing it 1-2.
Okay.
And that's a Jeff thing.
So, okay, yes, Jeff is admitting that he has a wrong opinion. Thank you so much.
Here's
move
my
on as a
opinion.
society. Move forward, find a middle ground, a balance to society, which includes sending Jeff to the gulags.
No.
Sounds like Joe Biden. Anyway,
Listen, I also
Bring
think
back the
adventure
Obama
games
death camps.
are horse shit.
Yes. What?
However, I think Quest for Glory is fucking charming as shit. The way it limits the verbs you have access to because of your character's skill set means that I find puzzle solving a lot more intuitive for the most part. I think it's a very pretty, charming game.
Very well written.
It is lower on the Sierra bullshit index than pretty much everything else that was out around that time from them.
yeah. This came out more or less around King's Quest V.
Yeah, this was
For
this
reference.
was 89,
89.
88, 89.
Yeah.
By Corey and Lori Cole, who were
Known as the
another
Coles.
another husband-wife team who worked at Sierra.
You want me to talk more about the Coles?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, talk
Okay,
about the
so
Coles.
Corey Cole was the one who got the start in there, and he was originally a programmer in Sierra Online, and his job was to port the SCI engine to the Atari ST. That was the big thing that they assigned him and a very small team to do. And so basically, he isn't even professionally trained to make video games. His job was to make game engines. Huh. He co-designed the first 4 Quest for Glory games with his wife, and his wife was the one that basically had the video game expertise. And his first credit without his wife, I believe, was The Castle of Dr. Brain, which was an educational adventure game. It's more of a puzzler, teaching kids how to read, write, and deal with logic puzzles. But yeah, his job was to make game engines, not make games. So around the time when he starts working with his wife, Lori Ann Cole, they did Quest for Glory 1, Quest for Glory 2. It's slightly kind of weird here. So he also was like an assistant, like developmental system programmer for King's Quest 1. So actually, Quest for Glory came out. I'm going to do a correction. Quest for Glory actually came out before King's Quest 1.
Really?
Yes. Quest for Glory.
You mean the VGA version of King's Quest 1?
Oh, you're right. The King's Quest
dude.
VGA version. Yes. Okay.
Because King's Quest 1 came out on the Apple II in like
Apple II. Okay,
something.
sure. And so, Corey Cole was just, he wanted to make Quest for Glory games, and he would occasionally help out with like, oh, Space Quest doesn't know how to make this game for the Atari Amiga. I'll help out. I want to go back to making Quest for Glory. The Space Quest 4 team doesn't know how to program the extra colors into the DOS version of their game. I can help out. Yeah. Now, don't bother me. I want to make Quest for Glory. Lori Ann Cole actually is just as interesting. So she started with her husband. She was the sole designer for almost all of Quest for Glory 5. It's funny. So Sierra did a huge batch of layoffs. So they fired Corey, but they kept Lori Ann. And from the sounds of it, that's part of the reason why Quest for Glory 5 is a much more dour, darker, and depressing game, is because she was forced to make a game without her husband.
Yuck.
While he was dealing with being unemployed.
Yeah, Quest for Glory 5 came out around the same time as King's Quest 8, which
is
I've talked about.
Yeah,
it's a bad.
The doyen of like the end of Sierra stuff, basically.
That is the death of adventure games.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what they always wanted to do is they basically wanted to make, and I'm going to use a modern example to compare something that is older. They wanted to make something very similar to, they really liked Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, but they didn't like what Roberta Williams was doing in terms of game design. They wanted to make something that had skill checks like Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, but they wanted to do it in a way that kind of sanded off the rougher edges of the adventure game format that Roberta Williams pioneered with early Sierra. And so they had 3 possible jobs for your character: rogue, fighter, mage. And they also wanted this was planned to be a franchise where each game was a different genre. So we go from the traditional fantasy, we'll eventually go to like an Egyptian African themed one, we'll go into a slightly science fiction one. So we're dealing with like
the
Arabian Nights one,
the Gothic horror one.
Yeah, so they're all different genres of
fantasy.
Genre lit. Yeah, fantasy genre lit. And it was kind of like American Horror Story.
Yeah, anthology-ish.
But video game. And so it was really interesting. It's kind of an aberration when you look at the other games that Sierra was making, in that the Coles really did care about making something that was user-friendly. I mean, when they redid Quest for Glory, they made what many consider is a better, easier to use version of it that was not based off of a text parser.
Right.
I think, Jeff, I know that you're going to constantly talk about how this game is very slow. Can we just recognize that this game was originally designed to work on an Atari ST, and a lot of that slowness is fucking how many megabits of memory and RAM?
I don't know if that necessarily is a fault. Like, the Atari ST had some really fast shooters and speedball, and like I don't know if that's why it's slow.
But I think this game is doing a lot more complicated computations, and it has so much going on in the background sometimes, to where it's not just a shooter. It's got dialogue systems. It's got like animating characters for you to interact with.
There's no physics happening
with dice rolls.
It's just like, hey, did they hit this event flag? Okay, hold that flag. As opposed to, how fast are all 30 of these balls going at any given point?
It's
like,
anyways, if you wanted to know, both of the Coles, after they left, they made a game called Hero U.
Yep.
Which, from what I hear, is just okay.
Huh.
But they have since gone on to become they're still married, so
Good on them.
they're happy where they're at. But they've become Twitch streamers, so people recommend.
That's cool.
People recommend them to play like modern adventure games, and they just play them lovingly and provide constructive criticism about modern adventure games.
I mean, they've probably played all of them. Well, I don't know. If you broaden the horizons of what an adventure game is, I bet they're probably like fucking pigs and slop right now when you go to itch.io and like look at Ren'Py and Twine and etc.
Yeah.
So actually, I bet that's a pretty good crease for them, and that's cool. Good on them. You know, I get the sense Sierra had a lot of you know, maybe not the best place to be married and in a committed, wholesome marriage, at least in its early days. What with the aforementioned jacuzzis and blow everywhere, but hey, good on them for making it. Congratulations, fun, good time.
But yeah, they made a video game at the tender age of like what 60-ish, so good on them. And they're just going at their own speed, occasionally adding new stuff to like Hero U. And they don't really care about like making the next big one. Like they're just like casually making stuff, streaming, and just technically still a part of the adventure game community, but at their own pace and speed.
Like that couple that makes that Archon game, they're still married, which is crazy, or at least they were up to a couple of years ago. Contemporary computer video game chess-like thing.
For as much as you are trying to overcomplicate this, this is your Trojan horse. This is you trying to put adventure games onto our role-playing game podcast through the peanut butter chocolate principle.
All right. Like, I mean, this is the game, though. Like, if you want to play an adventure game RPG, this is the one to play for our series. Because
this is an adventure game with stats and dice rolls.
Other options are not great. I'm just going to tell you. Like, there's not a lot of options. I mean, we can...
No, I'm saying you're a criminal. Because this is more adventure game than it is RPG. The problem is, I like this game enough
this
that
game
I'm willing
has...
to let it pass.
Okay, can we at least talk about the interesting fact of, like, how, at least at the time, the fact that these 3 different job classes play actually uniquely...
Pretty differently.
Yeah.
Or at least you solve the same puzzles differently.
No, even the combat is different. Like, the way you approach certain combat sequences as a fighter is different than as a magic caster. And that is, in and of itself, pretty interesting for a game that came out at the time that this game came out.
89.
Yeah, I mean, so I think the last episode we all agreed we would play a different character class.
Yes.
I wound up pulling the thief. And what'd you guys wind up between the two of you?
I was
a fighter
user.
Okay.
I would say the fighter is probably it's widely considered the canonical class to play, especially for like a newcomer, just because it's so straightforward.
Yeah.
You're just using brute strength. The combat is super simple, which I think is going to come up. Like the combat in this game, once you get a hold of it, it becomes kind of ancillary to just exploring the world and solving the puzzles.
Yeah.
There are some times where you might need to intuit what you're dealt with, but for the most part, I also want to commend this game. There's no need, because the emphasis is on the adventure gaming. There's no need to actually grind in this game. It's structured and regimented in a way we're just progressing the story.
Okay.
Okay. What's the problem?
You know, you say that, but then it's like,
sometimes...
okay, I have to go get a ring out of a tree. I guess I'm just going to click on this tree for a couple minutes until a number is big enough that I can climb it. Like, that's grinding. I think that is actually...
No. I mean, like, completing side quests is...
No, sometimes main quest things, you also need a number to be big enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you complete the side quests.
To complete the side quest, you have to grind up your skills, though. That's what I'm saying.
Then you complete a different side quest.
This has an Elder Scrolls style skill system.
Yeah, Lamarcus.
You need to use the skills that you're given to use with your characters.
Yes, and to do that, you have to fail using that skill multiple times. You are successfully undermining everything I want to talk about with this game
Like,
you are successfully ruining your own case.
No, I'm all ears. I find that the way that the game incentivizes you to actually use its mechanics is really interesting.
Okay.
Is really fun. I like working with these mechanics.
So, this is irrational, okay? Jeff's admitting things about himself. Like, I'm sitting here having restarted Final Fantasy 13-2, trying to build, like, an optimum, like, set of monsters to, like, take down the last chunk of that game in a very raffle stomp manner, which involves quite a bit of classic grinding, like going and searching for the correct mob and then finding other mobs to drop things to feed my like, it's literally hours of bullshit. And Quest for Glory literally presented me with a scenario where, in order to open a safe, I had to just click on it like 20 times until the game decided I opened the safe correctly. And for some reason, again, this is a Jeff thing, clicking on that safe 20 times feels infinitely worse. Like infinitely worse. Because it's just a game saying, not just click it again, not just click, like, it's actually the same feeling. Despite, again, Final Fantasy 13-2, I spent an hour yesterday running around in a gully, waiting for a specific group of monsters to spawn so I could fight it until, after fighting that mob 6 or 7 times, I could capture one of them. Okay? Both of these, I think, are actually very poor ideas. Quest for Glories just frankly takes 1,000th of the amount of time, but I felt that 1,000th of the amount of time infinitely more so. Again, this is Jeff being broken. So,
sure.
Like, I see
Braden,
the difference here. I really do.
Okay.
Braden, guide, what are some of the things that you want to talk about?
Okay, so, yeah. So I picked the magic user class. When I played this game for the first time, probably almost a decade ago, I went with Thief. But with magic user, it's very nice because there are 8 spells in the game. You don't need all of them, but the ones you need immediately are the ones you can buy from the starting shop in the town of Spielberg. And generally those are the verbs you use to solve the puzzles.
Yeah.
And that is nice as someone who, quite frankly, finds text parsers to be a scary nightmare and would never play this game with the parser. I think we all played the VGA remake, right?
I played both.
I poked both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are aspects of the text parser I actually kind of enjoy.
I have to agree.
I'm just used to using the text parser.
Yeah.
When I come up to a person and it's like, okay, I know that what I need to get out of you is A, B, and C. I'm just going to type them, get my shit, and walk away. I kind of like that rapidity rather than I have to click this. Right-click this part of the environment. I've got to kind of maybe drag something from you. I have to click this eyeball here. No. Hello, what is your name? Do you have the token? Please give me the token. Threaten you. Get token, walk away. And I feel like the pace of the parser is actually better if you are comfortable about using traditional text parsers. As someone who's like played Zork and Hitchhiker's Guide, I actually, there are parts of the parser I enjoy. Now, if you're talking about like mechanically, what do I think is more satisfying? And me personally, I like the clicky clicks just because I like the tactile feedback. I like the idea that I'm interacting with the characters. I find that to be mechanically more satisfying. Jeff.
I mean,
the
parser seems like a pretty good parser in that EGA version, all told. I spent, not a terribly long amount of time with it. Let's say, so, this is a classic Sierra, not exactly classic, a skew on a classic Sierra adventure game. So ultimately there's like a score you're going for, right? And let's say I got my Thief up to like 60 or 70 points on the little scoreboard in the EGA version before I was like, I think I get it. I think I'm good. And then rolled on to the VGA version. So if you want, I think, a classic experience, if you want to like experience one of these sorts of things in like its original EGA mold, I might actually recommend this one over something like King's Quest, personally. But maybe that's just because you've got that little RPG feel for me. I don't know. I found the EGA version bearable in the sense that I found all of this, like, not for me at all.
I like being able to know, like, hey, if there's a door, there's a point in the quest. Like, we don't need to really talk about the story or.
I think I want to commend the quality of the writing at the very least.
It's very goofy.
It's goofy, it's charming, and it's a little twee, but I mean, there's some really good characters here. Like, even the one-off characters are well written, and they feel iconic in their own right.
There's that part where you go up to the wizard's tower, and it's the wizard and his mouse familiar just making fun of each other and making bad puns.
I like the little...
Which sounds
like grass
cringy
people.
on paper. Yeah.
Whatever they were called.
Yep.
It's...
The meeps.
Meeps. Yes.
Yeah.
One of you said it.
It's just, especially when you compare this to what was in Sierra's wheelhouse.
Police quest.
Yeah. It feels...
Murdering you if you don't look both ways before crossing the street.
Exactly. This is a game that feels welcoming. Far more welcoming than other things. Even in comparison to things that were outside of Sierra. Like, SSI's games were not this welcoming or just comfortable or pleasurable as Quest for Glory 1. So I guess I'm interested, as someone who has repeatedly made fun of me for liking adventure games. Braden, why is this the adventure game that you feel like, hey, this is a fun time?
It is compact, I think, is why I think it works for me. Because ultimately there are 3 things you need to do to quote-unquote finish the game. You have to rescue the baronet from being a bear, and you can do that pretty much immediately as a magic user with the firebolt spell and the calm spell. You can also, and then you have to rescue the baron's daughter, who is the leader of the thieves gang. And that is a more involved process. That's the main bulk of the game. Yeah. But most of that is also just stuff that you will get incidentally by exploring the world. And, you know, you run into Ari the Hermit, and he teaches you the trigger spell, which you need. And then you can... you solve the Dryad's quest, and she tells you how to dispel the enchantment that has cursed the Baron's daughter. And then the last thing you need to do is you need to get Baba Yaga out of there.
Yeah, and it's a pretty good, like, encapsulation of this genre. It's got basically everything.
There's not a convoluted nature because most of these puzzles can be done in different ways. That means there are fewer overtly complicated solutions to them.
Yeah.
And so as a magic user, if there's a locked door, you cast open.
Right. And in Spielberg, like, this is where things really differentiate. Like, if you are a thief, like Jeff, and you wait until dark, you can make your way back to the back alley, and you can get an entire quest line that's not available to anyone else.
You can join the Thieves Guild,
get your thieves license,
break into people's houses, and sell their stuff for money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
It doesn't amount to a whole hell of a lot. There's only, like, 2 lootable houses. However, you get just a shitload of money for doing it. Like, just a phenomenal amount of money for...
As a magic user... when you go and visit the wizard and the mouse at the top of the mountain, you play this weird mini game with them called the Magic Maze. It's not good, but it's interesting.
And I do think that it's interesting how, like, even like that when you first exit the outside of the town gates and you meet that healer in the healer's hut, and she's like, oh man, I'm trying to help people, but someone stole my stuff. Yeah. Like, the thief and the fighter just throw a rock at the guy who steals the shit. The magic user could just catch fetch.
Yep.
And it's like, right there, boom, I get it. There's some sort of skill check system here. The way that I play the game is differentiated based off that starting class. And that, again, I feel is, like, commendable, especially for a game.
Your verbs are... The game allows you to use different verbs.
Yeah. And it is, like you said, very class intuitive. I think if you're into this game, it lends a pretty clear amount of replayability of like, I don't get the sense
you can also
either of those playthroughs are that different feeling in the end. Like but going and trying something 3 times.
It's enough.
Yeah.
Though, and also you can bring in a one character from the first game all the way to the 5th game.
Yeah, there's a continuity to the Quest for Glory series
that's some
that is
wizardry 6 to 8 stuff where that was 10 years basically.
There's
Same
a continuity
character.
also to the characters. One of my least favorite Quest for Glory games ends with "to be continued in the next Quest for Glory game," and it's like, man, really? But yeah, there's a continuity here. But yeah, I mean, even the characters respond to you differently if you're a different class. Like the Meeps will sell you magic if you're the wizard. Otherwise, they're kind of like just fun little things. And then like the Dryad's whole situation is way easier to deal with. Like the spitting spear flowers are way easier to deal with if you have the remove curse potion or just you're able to use magic.
Yep.
And especially
Just
when I
cast
played
fetch.
Yeah, and also as someone who's played this game multiple times, I prefer to play the game as the wizard because just detect magic and fetch alone make the game so much quicker and easier.
Yeah, I feel like maybe my time would have been a little better as the wizard, frankly, or maybe even just the fighter, where it's just like the verbs are very cut down. The thief, they really did manage to capture the spirit of like 2nd edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons in the sense that the thief is absolutely the skill monkey. Like, it's just like, oh, you gotta pick a lock, you gotta climb up something, you gotta, like... They gave the thief all of these extra abilities that 3rd edition kind of exploded for everyone. Yeah, did that one time just to see the kill screen. That, like, again, this is just one of the Jeff is allergic to this genre. This game does have a bunch of fun failure states that you can discover, and those are all, charming.
Still a Sierra game. There are still numerous and comedic ways to die.
But I feel like the ones that are here, like, most of them, like, pick your nose. Like, you're only going to do that if you read.
If you stand underneath Baba Yaga's hut when you command it to go down, it crushes
it will crush you.
If you take too long going under the gate to get into the castle, the gate will fall on you, and that can kill you. It won't necessarily kill you right off, but if you're already fucked up going in there, you will just die, impaled by a portcullis. I can't deny this game is like really charming. I think even the EGA version is kind of a looker for your EGA games, and the VGA version
absolutely.
looks great. Like it really does.
For an EGA game,
there's a lot of really nice animation.
Sierra, here's the unfortunate thing: as someone who is a Sierra defender, I think that unfortunately what happened to Apocrypha is the failures of Sierra have overstated the contributions and true legacy of Sierra. We talk so much about, the negativity and the negative legacy of Roberta Williams and like the excesses of Sierra. And I don't want to belittle all of the claims of workplace harassment and a toxic work community there. But Sierra defined a genre for literally 20 to 30 years. Yeah. They got the most out of every single platform, especially with all of the like your IBM computers. They were even releasing things on Mac, and like the Macintosh ports of Quest for Glory and King's Quest were some of the best looking Mac games at the time. Like they were technologically cutting edge, and even mechanically speaking, they were trying new things.
Yeah, and that's like, again, recognizing my own shit. They did not make the shit for me, but I can't ignore that like these were critically wildly well received and commercially high selling games like throughout the 80s and 90s, or early 90s at least. Like I'm not picking up on this at all, but like hundreds of thousands at least, let's go millions might be a stretch, did absolutely. So like they were doing something right here. Like as it happens, if you play this in 2021 like and don't have like a frame of reference for it, yeah, it's kind of like just clicking around a couple pictures and watching a guy slowly walk from corner to corner to click on stuff.
You got to turn up the game speed.
Yeah, you really, really, really need to do that. It's I was honestly trying to play it kind of... Okay, so here's a question. ZP, I think you kind of spoiled the answer to this, but let's play dumb here. How much did you do without a guide? Like either of you?
I always play these games with a guide on hand, and I'll organically solve everything or attempt to solve everything organically once, and then I'll just look up the answer.
I beat this game when I played it like 8 or 9 years ago by skimming a guide and just kind of... There's one sequence when you are at the bandit encampment where it is very much just like you have to do this very specific chain of things or you will die over and over again. Less thrilled about that. But I think you can definitely get through a lot of this game with regular levels of intuition and just messing around, which is more than I can say for pretty much any Sierra game of that era. But yeah, I definitely used a guide.
Yeah, I think I made it about up to like the 70s score-wise, which, you know, I did not figure out the Thief's Guild sequence without a guide, which, you know, shame on me. Probably says I'm like a rock or something in terms of how my brain works, but putzed around, picked up several items, talked to a lot of people, learned about the world. Like, situating this in terms of, like, Final Fantasies or whatever the hell, a lot of what you need to know about the world is conveyed in just talking to people and perhaps exhausting every dialogue tree. But beyond some of the more infuriating adventure game puzzle-ism stuff that is in here, a lot of it's pretty well spelled out. It's just like, oh, like, this is the state of the world, here's where everything is, like, here's what these characters know and how they interact. Like, I don't know. Versus walking around in a Final Fantasy game where, like, you would... 6 is kind of good about this stuff, by the way. Like, in order to learn something, you've got to just, like...
Because 6 is a good game.
Yeah, it's a good game. But, like, talking to every NPC in, like, a Japanese role-playing game doesn't necessarily reveal what you need to do. The good ones it does, but that's not a guarantee. Whereas this, at least, everything's kind of spelled out by talking to people, right?
Yes, and I think that's why doing this Final Fantasy series... That has been repeatedly when we play things from the 16 8-bit era of JRPGs, the thing that I continue to struggle with. It's like, why the fuck do these games never have a goddamn mission log? Why?
Yeah.
Why isn't there something... Why? Why is there no mini-map in these fucking games? Like, why? And I'm just used to that. Just a couple of points of clarification. So, as someone who knows a lot about Quest for Glory, it's important to note that this game was supposed to be way bigger. Like, originally, I think Lori Cole said, yeah, we originally wanted the thief to be a gnome, the magic yielder to be like an elf, and then the human was the jack of all trades. And they were even like, originally there was going to be an archer ranger class, and it was going to be a centaur, and each of the jobs were actually going to be different races. And it's like, turns out the technology couldn't support that much memory. So it was 1 human, 3 classes. And also... You know, the fact that they were making a game that was not the typical Sierra game led to some of the upper management of Sierra saying, oh, so you're making a game for children? Like, they were repeatedly asking, oh, okay, so it's not like
King's Quest
so this 4, is gonna... And so they had to continually fight to prevent the game from being classified in Sierra's, like, edutainment category, just because it seemed like, from the outside... that it was too easy.
Incomprehensible bullshit.
Which led to the original Quest for Glory game, the EGA version. They only had a budget about $150,000.
Which is wild. Like,
it was the Coles and maybe a team of a handful of other people. They made this game with $150,000. And the VGA remake had about the same amount of money.
Yeah, this was never Sierra's flagship franchise.
Despite the fact that I would say that the nostalgia for Quest for Glory is almost on par with King's Quest and Space Quest.
The people who are nostalgic for King's Quest and Space Quest are lying to themselves, lying to their friends, lying to their family. But at least they're better than the people who are nostalgic for Leisure Suit Larry.
Sure. Or the problematic aspects of Police Quest. Fucking Daryl F.
What?
Gates presents
What?
Police
Daryl
Quest
F.
4.
Gates?
I mean, like, playing this has kind of made me go back and appreciate. I had the supervisor at my old job at the other university I worked at who was of an age where he could say with complete stone-faced honesty that, like, he was an old, I think he got to retire about 5 years after I worked there. But he's like, all the stuff was great. I used to love computer games. I really liked Zork. And then Sierra came in and they gave everything graphics, and everything sucked after that. Like, they just took adventure games and ruined them with all this point-and-click garbage. And
Okay, Grandpa.
I've been pondering this a lot.
I respect the purity of that.
So wait. Jeff, would you be okay with me picking a text adventure game next?
Yeah, man. I like text adventures.
So that means I could also pick a visual novel. We're playing Otome games next when I pick.
I ain't saying no. They got numbers. They got stats.
I'll play Princess Maker.
Look, I think this is so far afield, frankly, of like what RPGs actually ought to be, which is Jeff being kind of a dick. I don't know. We've low-key talked about playing a bunch of franchise sports games off and on in our private chat about this show. I don't see why those can't be on board after this, for sure.
So anyways, I think that we're kind of running circles, which is, Jeff, this is just not your cup of tea, and we need to respect you as a beautiful little snowflake. I'm just kidding. And Braden and I appreciate this game. Hey, I'm just prepping priming the pup for tomorrow.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Shut up.
I'm just priming the pump. I'm priming the pump. I think I have come around to, I understand where you're coming from, Jeff. However, I think that if you had already been baked into the CRPG PC gaming community of this era, this is just a fun little distraction or like a little side thing. Yeah. Like, it doesn't, let's be honest, there's nothing that plays or controls or does what Quest for Glory has attempted to do. I would even argue that there's nothing.
Other games like this. There are RPGs with shitty adventure game puzzles.
But nothing truly tries to meld the two genres together like this, which is weird considering how many people will tell you that they like Quest for Glory.
Yeah.
Is it just you? Are you the many people?
There are people who say that, Quest for...
There are people in our community, in our Discord, who are like, hell yeah, Quest for Glory. Like, I'm like, really? Huh.
No, I mean, for a lot of people, this was a game that was an introduction to the CRPG genre. This was an on-ramp for them because it wasn't, maybe they bought this game, and this is something that I think I talked about with Sparky Buzzsaw, that, like, there were people, like Sparky Buzzsaw explained, who bought Quest for Glory thinking that they were getting an adventure game, and it turns out that they had to learn how to play role-playing games, and specifically computer role-playing games, and it's like, oh, I can actually, this genre is kind of cool. Yeah. And then now I'm going to explore wizardry. Now I'm going to explore Ultima.
I think that's for me the thing. It's like, in my head, it's just like, oh my God, like, what a cool time to have owned, a home computer in the 1980s. You got all this, you said your wizardries and Ultimas and your bad derivatives of both. But that's kind of revisionist history. Like, if I was probably a lad in the 1980s, I'd been like, man, owning a computer is so cool. I can play King's Quest, etc. Like, one of those things sold buku more copies than the other as a genre, and it was the adventure shit. So you're absolutely right. Like, I'm the odd one out here, and that's okay. But I am.
It's a pleasurable adventure. I would say I would even challenge people to check it out no matter what. Even if you have icky feelings about adventure game mechanics, maybe start with 2. Maybe start with 2. Quest for Glory 2.
Yeah, there's some sort of remake you guys mentioned?
Yes, there is a fan remake of Quest for Glory 2 because
it's
Quest for Glory
good.
2 was also a text parser game, EGA, and there is a fan remake of Quest for Glory 2 that is in the style of this remake of 1.
And it plays significantly better.
It has
like,
quality
even
of life
if
improvements.
It also addresses the problem that Jeff said, which is this game plays super slow. Like, you can speed it up and it plays at a really good, decent clip.
It does.
And I mean, Quest for Glory 2 even features real-time combat. Like, the combat's not turn-based, it's real-time.
I mean, the combat is also real-time in this game. It's just silly.
Sluggishly slow.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. Now, if you want to talk about, like, me playing, like, these Sierra games and then trying to play LucasArts games, like, the silly insult combat system in this is so much better than that dumb fucking insult fighting in Monkey Island. Like, I played Quest for Glory 1 and 2, and then I played Monkey Island. It's like, this is, like, not even a video game. This is just dumb.
Yeah, like, I think the charitable thing I could say about this combat is it's kind of like Pirates. Kind of. Like, not the more recent remake of Sid Meier's Pirates, but, like, the original Sid Meier's Pirates. Like, it's just kind of number pad driven. It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah. It's simple, and it's not punishingly difficult.
Yeah.
It gets to the point to where it feels a little bit of an afterthought, because I feel like the power balance doesn't really completely work out. But again, this is of that CRPG and even JRPG era where it's like, okay, you got to level 25, just murder everything.
just
You can
cruise.
murder everything, no problem. Like, that was the whole point of this, like, RPGs in general, which is you put in the work, now you can beat the entire game with your eyes closed.
And I mean, it came with the genre expectation. I feel like this kind of spread to all of PC gaming. It's a thing that they will always lord over console people, but it's just like, yeah, F5. Like, let's go. Like, you want to try something? F5.
Yeah.
You want to fuck up? Hit F5. Like, you fuck up? Hit F9. You know? Like, just save early and often.
Yeah.
It's baked into this genre, so I don't know. That plus RPG mechanics is just like, oh, did this fight not go your way? Just F9, do it again.
It's on. Yeah. And you know,
And
playing
then-
this via Scum VM.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which can we take us time to say that Scum VM is, like, actually good, and it's an important thing that's happened to video games of recent memory.
This is the one that converted me. I played this in DOSBox for a while with a Roland MT32 emulator across 2 different platforms. I got a laptop and then a desktop, so I've been moving a save stack across, and doing that in DOSBox was kind of complicated for mapping the MUNT stuff specifically.
I mean,
Scum VM just works.
We know. Braden and I have dealt with needing to bolt on something into DOSBox just to make it run. We've dealt with this, right, Braden?
Scum VM
It's not fun.
Just does it. Just it wants some definitely legally acquired driver files to make the good sound go. But once those are loaded, it just worked. The only thing I wish it did was import DOSBox save files, which apparently it does not. But otherwise, yeah, goddamn.
It's pretty impressive. Scum VM also, like, it's crazy to think, but Scum VM is like 20 years old. It's just now with the support of companies like GOG and Steam, like, saying, no, yeah, okay, as long as the stuff you're bolting onto this is legal. Yeah. It's a cool thing.
I like it. I kind of want to look into what else, because I get the sense that it didn't inherently support the Quest for Glory series, but now does. Makes me wonder how far down that goes, what the list of compatibility is. Obviously, it's all the, like, LucasArts shit, but...
Yeah, it was designed for LucasArts first, and then it did that. But there's, like Cotel Vision games that work on it. There's Humongous Entertainment games that work on it.
Play some Putt-Putt.
Yeah, there's AdventureSoft, HorrorSoft games. Like, so if you want to play those Elvira adventure games, they work.
Like, can I play XCOM in this? You know, probably not.
No, that's what OpenXCOM is for.
Yeah, XCOM just has been cracked. The code's been cracked.
But it's great. I you know, in cases where I can use it over DOSBox, it's probably going to be my choice going forward. And I say this as someone who's been using DOSBox for like 10 years. Like, I understand how to use DOS. But what if I didn't have to?
But I mean, the problem I have with DOSBox is like the steps I have memorized, the steps required to do DOSBox. It's just like when suddenly you've taken the time to download a ROM, and it took time, and you bolted it onto DOSBox, and the sound is not right, finding out what's wrong is really difficult and tedious, and I hate it.
Yeah. You have to basically flog it into pretending that it is still 1992 or whatever the hell, as you're trying to cobble different drivers and stuff onto DOSBox. Whereas Scum's just like, yeah, where's these drivers? Oh, cool. All right, yeah. It's like, wait, that's it? It's like, yeah, like, what do you expect? It's like, oh, you're going to be my best friend now. Friendship with DOSBox over. Scum VM is my new best friend. I wish I liked this game more. I can appreciate it quite a bit. It's not for me, but it is a quality thing. I think it's really pretty. I think the music is actually kind of fun. It's charming as hell. It's got replay value, and it's not very long. Like, that's the other thing. If this was like a 10-hour experience, I would probably just be having a fucking strop right now. But you could chew through this entire game even without a walkthrough in probably like 5 hours. Like, I just made us play Dragon Quest 1 for crying out loud. Like, that is a lot of the same goddamn flavor. This at least has got enough charm and relatively intuitive shit that, like I said, 5-ish? I don't know. Pushback? Thoughts? No?
No, I get it.
Maybe
I
less.
just disagree.
Well, disagree how?
I think that this is probably one of the better intro to CRPG on-ramps that's out there.
Nope.
Okay.
I think this is, as a CRPG, this is not an introduction because there is very little management or character fiddling that is needed.
Hell yeah, I don't want to have to deal with that until I figure out if this is a genre
you put points in your stats at the beginning of the game.
Just make a balanced character and then see, because if a person doesn't like Quest for Glory 1, it's like, I don't like this role-playing stuff. They're not going to like fucking anything else.
I played Quest for Glory, and therefore I'm ready to get into Baldur's Gate.
I'm not going to have them play Baldur's Gate first. What do you? Okay, so what's the alternative? What is a better entry, like baby's first steps into the genre?
The secret is there isn't a good entry point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is one of the better ones because
this is an adventure game. This is an adventure game with dice rolls.
Which is why it's actually better to teach the idea that things are based on dice rolls.
I can't believe I've become a genre dick here, but
I think ZP. I think I agree with you 100%. If we're talking about like 1992, which is worth talking about, like because I think you're absolutely right. If this is the mode of computer video game experience that people are familiar with, which was absolutely the case 25, 30 years ago, yes. What a wonderful jujitsu move. What a nice Iaido flip someone into accidentally playing a role-playing game. I just don't know how many of those people there are anymore. Right? Like,
it's not zero,
it's not.
Though.
And like for that crowd, this probably is like a really good on-ramp. But for like the rest of the world, the honest answer to this question is just like, look at Skyrim, right? Which I'm not like hooray about that.
Sit down,
but
throw yourself into Divinity Original Sin 2 and just accept pain.
Play Tides of Numenera or something, like
play fucking Baldur's Gate 2 when you're 13. Look up how D&D rules to understand it. That's what I did. God damn it. Went both ways uphill in the Thaco.
If you actually had people, if Thaco is a person's first exposure,
Thaco,
you are a bad person.
I went straight from KOTOR 1 to Baldur's Gate 2, motherfucker.
It's like stepping backwards through time.
Thaco.
Fuck. You know what? To piss both of you off, fine. I'll switch out my intro to CRPG pick from Quest for Glory 1 to Diablo 2.
Just buy a big old pile of USB mice and have a go at it. I feel like the era I was playing Diablo 2, even in college, even like 10 years ago, like, we literally burned through a couple mice playing that game when we were playing it on LAN.
Yeah. You have to click a lot.
Like cheap, shitty, $10, whatever. We were undergrads. We had like
my RSI.
Hey, they're still apparently making the Logitech M100 mouse. They still make it.
I've ordered a couple of those mice. Is there anything else we'd like to say before we put this on a list?
Nah, it's time to rank this. This is going to be fun.
This is going to be fun. I feel like we are all of us different
Remind
spots.
the viewers out there about the list.
Working from bottom to top. At the floor, the base of the tower, we have Tecmo Secret of the Stars. And then working up, we've got Draken, Revengers of Vengeance, Lord of the Rings, The Third Age, Game Boy Advanced Edition, Arabian Nights. Therein lies the line of mediocrity, above which we have Lord of the Rings, The Third Age console editions, Ace 3, all versions, Soma Bringer, Bahamut Lagoon. Probably north of that, we get into the good, at least, division, where you got Dragon Quest 1, Fire Emblem 1, Ultima 4, Grandia 2, Xenosaga Episode 1, Der Wille Zermacht, and our current Ozeki game, Suikoden 1, Genso Suikoden. So, Quest for Glory is going to wind up in here somewhere. I propose we start dead center.
Start in the middle?
So, Soma Bringer.
It's better. It is better than Soma Bringer.
Braden, how do you feel?
It's better than Soma Bringer.
That's probably the right answer. Bahamut Lagoon.
It's better than Bahamut Lagoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, you didn't even finish Bahamut Lagoon, and you quit like after 2 hours.
We collectively barely started Bahamut Lagoon, but okay, I can't really sit here and defend this, and I'm outvoted either way. So yeah.
I've been watching a friend of the show stream Bahamut Lagoon, and that makes the game seem both like, hey, there's something to this, and also, I don't know if I would have wanted to play more of this.
It's a lifestyle choice.
What if I played a front mission game instead?
For 40 hours? Like, I don't know. Dragon Quest 1, the subtitle of the subtitle.
I think it's better than Dragon Quest 1. It's got more going for it, and it's a better game.
It's a better game than Dragon Quest 1.
Okay.
Jeff, I will say this.
We had out Dragon Quest 1 pretty well. It's got a lot of problems.
It's got a lot of problems, and it's also too dry. Say this what you will. Quest for Glory 1 has a story with characters and characterization.
It has a obsession with puns that borders on the offensive.
I think Dragon Quest 1 is very different flavor of charming. It has charm to like a child. I feel like this game is probably more charming, if nothing else. So, okay. This will be fun for Braden. Fire Emblem 1, the original, the OG.
Fire Emblem 1's not even the one that Braden that I said you're gonna die on.
You're
not. I'm not dying.
Die on a hill for.
We get into Thracia or genealogy wars. Absolutely, I will fight for Fire Emblem, but not 1. So I'm gonna say that Quest for Glory 1 is better than Fire Emblem 1. What about you, Braden?
Yeah.
All right.
That seems. The first Fire Emblem is not the one I'm gonna die on the hill for.
Okay. Okay. I can't argue with the science. Where it's a democracy. Ultima 4, Quest for the Avatar.
It is absolutely better than Ultima 4. It's a better UI experience. It's a better story. It communicates its mechanics
3 years
better.
After Ultima 4, and is infinitely more playable.
It's more playable even if you don't like the adventure game stuff, because Ultima 4 is more ambitious.
Okay, but for the literally dozens of people who got to play the Master System version of Ultima 4 in PAL territories, maybe you're both wrong. Have you considered Master System version notwithstanding?
Yeah, I mean, even then, like, it's an obtuse, weird game that has too much stuff going for it.
You guys really like this game, and we should acknowledge that.
Jeff,
now you know how I felt during the Xenosaga ranking.
I do.
Fuck yeah, Xenosaga. I came into this game being like, oh, I remember liking it, when I played it a bajillion years ago. But also, I know I fucking hate adventure games, and watching Chris play just turd after turd after turd for his streams just made me go, maybe I hate video games now forever. And then playing this again and being like, no, actually, this is very charming. It's very light. And for the standards of the fucked up nightmare genre it belongs to, it is also straightforward.
Okay, I'll give you Ultima 4. Now we're in actual knife territory. Grandia 2.
No.
Here's the funny thing. I think that Quest for Glory 1 is not better than Grandia 2, but I think it's better than Xenosaga.
Yeah, get fucked.
All right, I'm fine with that. I don't think it's better than Grandia 2. I definitely think it's better than Xenosaga.
Get fucked.
So put it below Grandia 2, Jeff. We're done.
Yeah,
We did it.
yeah.
We did the job. We did the thing. We did the thing.
All right. That is where it will land. I am fine with that. Someday, to appease our dear friend Chris, we will probably find something to sandwich between Suikoden and Xenosaga, just so we never have to hear him cry again.
Cry like a little baby.
Until that day comes,
little baby Jesus, space
in
Jesus.
the honorable fourth, we've got Quest for Glory 1. Congratulations. That's where we're going to land today. You know, I should probably open my Google Drive spreadsheet because we have a bunch of fan picks that are just hanging out now.
We also are probably going to make a GOTY podcast at some point.
An anniversary podcast.
Yeah, let's call it an anniversary podcast.
And
we played some games in 1 year.
Yeah.
Some real bangers and also some flops. Tune in for our GOTY podcast where we will have such wonderful categories as Worst Dungeon,
Anime Shitboy of the Year,
Ultimate Kusoge or Best Worst Game.
So we've got a list of fan-suggested games to have a gander at. I'm going to read off this list, and let's just grab one out of a hat. Right now, live on air, with no prep time, no runway, just shoot from the hip. If you guys can't see this list, I'll just read it. We've got The Legend of Legaia, Boktai, The Sun is in Your Hand, will present some problems.
Which users recommended these picks for each? What?
Okay, so Legend of Legaia comes to us from a Gino, that Pinguino. Boktai, courtesy of Reki Wills. Game Maker M gives us The Legend of Dragoon. Spike Meiser recommends Hybrid Heaven for the Nintendo 64. Jatsu recommends Nox. Doyle has given us Legacy of the Wizard, a.k.a. Dragon Slayer 4 Drazzle Family, for the Famicom.
Oh,
Drazzle! It's the first three letters of Dragon and Slayer. It's really clever. Namco published that. And then longtime email correspondent Joe, actually he's got two on here, which I've decided to give him because he's given us so much content. For good and ill. We got Ogre Battle 64 and a Kuso pick. Maybe that belongs in a Kuso show. Shadow Madness, the Ted Woolsey vehicle.
Oh, you should reach out, my friend. You've given us so much content. If you want to be on that episode, I think we should afford that right to him.
Joe, we'd love to have you. You know, and we're easy company. This is just done on Skype. You don't even have to fly out to Deep Listen Studios in redacted
scenic Ventura, California.
Beautiful Orange County. In Orange County, I can't afford it.
Disgusting.
I'm inclined to grab from these something like either Ogre Battle 64 or Hybrid Heaven, just because I hate the N64 and I want to just get it off my plate.
We should just do the N64 episode.
The N64 three-way we've talked about?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay, so the N64 three-way is what, for those who aren't in the know?
Quest 64.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hybrid Heaven.
Okay.
Aiden Chronicles the First Mage.
Yep. And
Ogre Battle?
And Ogre, maybe?
Maybe.
So
maybe
that's 4 games there, though.
Maybe a bad Mario RPG on the N64.
Okay.
I think we've all played Mario or Paper Mario. Is the thing.
We've all played Paper Mario.
Why don't we pick from the hat? If we get Hybrid Heaven, we'll hash it out.
Okay. So like roll a 1 through 8 here or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can one of you do that?
All right. /roll 1d8. 7.
7. Congratulations to Ogre Battle 64. It's the next thing we're going to look at. That what a happy coincidence, because
I need to set up my Wii U.
I am looking at my university library copy of Ogre Battle 64 right now in this room.
So do we want to do Ogre Battle 64, or do we want to do all of the N64 games?
I think if we do Ogre Battle 64 now, that can give us a better shit pile of stuff, because then you get Quest, Hybrid Heaven, and Aiden Chronicles in a different episode. I feel like Ogre Battle's kind of the odd man out there. Like, it's a...
people like Ogre Battle.
Yeah, it's like an actual game.
Yeah, and God bless them, but also we need to determine if we need to finish this game.
That's a conversation for the next episode. I think we put in the time. We're gonna tie this one off. It looks like our next recording is actually the Goatee here on the schedule. So
we have time to figure out which version we want to pick of this game, and then also, dust off the Wii U.
Okay, so next episode you hear from us will be covering our first year in review, our year-end rewards, the Dead Sea Awards, or whatever the hell we're gonna call them.
The DBs.
Followed by Ogre Battle 64, which will count as fan pick 1. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for letting us play Quest for Glory universe. We thank the universe. And we thank the universe to our fans as well. Once again, if you're enjoying this show, you can kick us $1 or $2 or $3. Really, any amount. There's literally no cap. At patreon.com/deeplistens. There will be community perks. There will be Jeff doing karaoke. There will be an unlimited saga. Just flog your friends into joining. And thanks to those of you who have. We deeply appreciate it. It's a good time. Special shout out, as always, to SuperSex420 for providing us with a podcast theme, Halfway. This and other great tracks by SuperSex420, available on bandcamp.com. Anything sign off, gentlemen? You have anything to say?
Don't look up Ogre Battle 64 on eBay. It will give you depression.
I'll set up the Wii U.
Are you okay? So do you have the Wii Virtual Console copy, the Wii U Virtual Console, or
I have the Wii Virtual Console copy. However, it is also on the Wii U Virtual Console, so I paid $2 or $1 or whatever, $2 to be able to play it on the Wii U, because fuck if I'm gonna go through the weird shell.
Yeah,
man, I like. Right as the Switch came out, they started putting out a ton of TurboGrafx games on the Wii U Virtual Console. It was like the most dead cat bounce feeling thing ever. And I was someone who clung to a Wii U for about 9 months after the Switch came out, just being like, this will be fine. This will be fine. It wasn't. Sold my whole Wii U lock, stock, and barrel about a year after that Switch came out. Kind of regret it.
How are we going to play Xenoblade X, Jeff?
It's one of the ones that got away.
The only one that hasn't been ported.
Probably never will, according to some interviews that have been done.
Yep.
Anyway, I think the answer is Simu, by the way. Just get it from that one website where all the games are. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, there's no such thing as cheating in a single-player game. Bye! This episode of Off the Deep End was recorded and edited on the traditional and ancestral territory of the Dishqualiapsh or Nisqually people, who have lived on and stewarded these lands and waters since times immemorial. That's a good episode. Quest for Glory, not my favorite
Jeff.
thing.
Hello, Jeff.
Gino?
Yes, it is I, the boss.
Why are you here?
Well, as the boss of Deep Listens, I do sometimes realize that I need the help of the Off the Deep End's people and have the means to make them do things.
Ashley? I thought the door was locked.
Yeah, I can get to your home. I know where it is.
Oh, shit. What do you want?
I need you and your team. I need the Off the Deep End's crew. I thought I would never need you for anything. Thought I was doing you a favor, giving you your little podcast, but you have an expertise I lack for an upcoming game we're going to be playing. And that's Eternal Sonata. I need you and your team's knowledge of garbage, your just complete, unending dedication to playing trash RPGs to help us.
When do we start?
Let's say a week.
Yeah, okay.